And here we go. Every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, Help a Teacher Facebook Live. As we get deeper and deeper into this school year, I just hear so many stories all week long talking to teachers. What it is, man? It is just the unbelievable effort. And, I've seen some crazy stuff in my 3 decades for sure, but I have never seen just the pure determination and drive and the persistence of teachers trying to find kids and connect with kids and teach kids, and they're doing it in person, from a distance, and online. It is if someone told me that this was going to be happening, first of all, I would have never believed it. But what I probably would have believed if somebody said, you know what, teachers just refuse to quit and they're not giving up and they're pushing forward every day. I would have believed that part. But man, just such a challenging time in which you teach, because the thing is, like, we all got into it for the same reason. Well, we got into it for different reasons, but those of us that keep coming back year after year after year after decade, it's all for the same reason, and that is to make a difference in the kid's life. Like deep down inside, like that's what we're there for. Like, we want to be the one to change a kid's life. We want to be the one where, like, decades from now, that kid is still talking about us and for the difference that we made in their life. And now it is, man, it's just so hard to do for so many teachers. All right, man, I'm excited about today. All right, so I'm trying to figure out. I was just thinking, how long have I known Susan Calda? I'm not sure. We go back, and I'm not sure. It's a while, because I'm getting old. She's not, but I am. And so we go back, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna ask her. I can't figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what year that we met the first time. But here's what I love about her. She has so much. Just so much experience, and just a diverse set of experiences and education, from early elementary school and first grade, and teaching first grade, and being a reading specialist in the elementary school. Then she was a counselor, and somehow, I don't know what happened, but she made that crazy decision to go from elementary to high school, which is, they're kind of the same kids, except they're just taller and hairier in high school. And so she's got a lot going on, and now she's a director of instruction and a whole host of other things. She has one of those jobs, how, like, when you sign up to, like, you see the job title and you find out that ain't all you're doing. She has one of those jobs, and she's over in Cy-Fair IST at a really unique campus over at the Winfern School of Choice and the Leonard Brodigan Center. And man, I can't wait for you guys to kind of get to know all about what she has going on. My pal, I'm not sure how long we've been knowing each other. It's been a while. All right, called a how long? You tell me.
I think
10
2007,
years,
Hal. 2007, Cy Springs High School.
13, 13 years. That can't be true. Is it 13?
I think it is. I think it might even be, if I count back, it might even been 2006. I'll have to check to double, but I'm pretty sure. Yes,
Man, we were children back
we
then.
were.
So I think we were students at that high school. Were we students then, or were we working there? What were
No,
we
man,
doing?
we're old. We're getting old.
Here's the first thing I want to find out about you, because I do know this, that you come from a well-known, respected dad, football coach in Texas. And here's what I know about coaches in Texas: their children make a decision early on. It's one, either I am never getting into education, or I'm all in. I'm a teacher from day one. So which were you when you were growing up and you're going to school? Were you all in, I'm going to be a teacher someday, or were you thinking never?
No way. I was never going to be in education. No. I saw that work that my parents did. I mean, we're talking day, dusk to dawn. I mean, dawn to dusk. I mean, every day, just they were very dedicated. So no, I was never going to do that.
It's interesting, to see the frustration, because you see him come home and you see him talk about the job and how hard it is. And your mom, and also your dad, we're working those crazy football coach hours. And that's not a job. That's like a lifestyle, and the whole family has to be on board for that journey. And
Hmm.
so you were thinking, there's no way I'm doing this teaching thing.
No, I was going to be a physical therapist. I love helping people,
What
so that's what I was planning to do.
What pulled you into it?
Well, I got married young. Met my the love of my life the end of my senior year. We were engaged in 3 months, married within a year, and within 2 years we had our son. With 13 months after that, we had our daughter. So I always loved children. I was good with them. I told my little brother, that's why he's so smart, because from the time he was 2, I was already teaching him how to add and subtract and reading to him all the time. And so I was always great with children. And I started with physical therapy. So I had a lot of science classes. So I met with my advisor, found out, what, I'm not going to lose any hours. So I think I could teach biology. And I think I love biology. I've always loved it. So I told my parents, I went home, we went to go visit them, and I told them, I think I'm going to switch my major to education. And they were like, what? Really? And they were so excited because they knew I'd be good at it. They knew that I would be a great teacher, but I just wasn't going to do it because I watched them all those years and spent hours up there with them, and they were both fabulous educators. But I just wanted to do something different, as a lot of kids do. So it was not a bad decision. It's the best thing I ever did in my life, and I'm still getting to help people and in so many unique ways. That I could have helped them as a physical therapist, but I feel like I've been able to help them tenfold, in education. So
Yeah. And when you look back and those first few years, back there in the early 90s and you're doing your elementary school thing, when you showed up in the classroom, was it way harder than you ever thought it was going to be, or did you pretty have a good idea what this thing was going to be all about?
well, I went to Sam Houston, go Bearcats, and so they prepare you very nicely to be in education. But I remember my first day at Metcalf Elementary, and I had a wonderful principal. I student taught there. And I remember thinking, all these little bodies are in my classroom. How in the world am I going to get them on that bus? I was terrified. They didn't quite prepare you for that. But I had a great team. And so it all worked out. I didn't lose anybody that day, so that was a good thing.
Well, you beat me because my first day, I lost half the class. I didn't know because I never knew I was going to do elementary. I thought I was just going to do high school, but I was at a tiny, tiny school. And you teach at a tiny school, you get them all like crisscross applesauce,
Uh huh.
all the way up to the big ones. And my first day on that, they said I was also the PE teacher. I didn't know I was going to do that, but apparently I was the PE teacher, and I had to go pick up a class of kinder and first. And they said take it to the gym, and I said, all right, kids, follow me, let's go. And I got to the gym and I looked back and half of them are gone. I don't know what happened to them. So he had to get all the other teachers to go round up all the kids I lost. That was not successful. And so then you became a counselor. I think for me the biggest question is what was it what was it that prompted you to make that shift ultimately from being at the elementary school doing that counseling position and going to the high school?
Well, my kids were getting older. By this time, I had our third child, Kyle, and I love to grow. I love to learn, and so I thought, I really need to go get my master's. And I was trying to decide, do I want to get it in administration? Do I want to get it in counseling? And so I went the counseling route, and uh, loved elementary, but I was ready for a change. And so I had the opportunity. Actually, my 12th grade English teacher. Her name was Miss Alye. It's now Miss Hardy, but she actually had a child at my elementary school where I was her son's counselor, and she kept saying, "Susan, when are you gonna come to high school? When are you gonna come to high school?" And I kept saying, "Well, Kyle's too little, so I have to wait a little bit." And so I did get that opportunity. I went and interviewed. I think there were 11 counselors at Cy Springs High School at the time. There were 4,000 students there,
I
the size of
remember.
my hometown. So you know how it was huge.
Yeah.
And so I was on a big learning curve. But my kids were getting older, and so I was, excited to get to kind of move up with them. And man, I learned so much. I had a fabulous team there. My lead counselor was actually Karen Simmons, and she was my 11th grade English teacher at Jersey Village High School. And so, it's just full circle. It's just so funny how it all works out. But, God had a plan. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering, so for you, you had, Miss Hardy was your English teacher, and then Miss Simmons was also your English teacher, and then you were working with them at the school setting years later. Was it hard for you? Did it take a time? Was there still a small part of you that felt like, "Okay, they're the teacher and I'm the student," and you still had that weird part of your relationship in place?
Well, of course. I wanted to please,
Yeah.
right? You want to make sure you do a great
Yeah.
job. Yeah, yeah. Great ladies, though, for sure. I learned tons
I
from
was
them.
never able to get over that. I went back and student taught at my high school, and that was shocking for everybody. It's like, "Oh my god, him? A teacher?" Which but I could not get over we never that was probably a bad decision because we just could not get past that part of our relationship that just a few years ago, I was a student and they were the teacher and I was getting written up and now I'm the it was just so strange. And
That
and
is.
I and for you, I think, based on the high school that you attended and the difference between that and Cy Springs High School with thousands and thousands of kids, and like you said, a dozen counselors basically.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just a whole different world, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a small town until I was 13 and ultimately graduated from Jersey Village High School. So it was big, but not near as big as Cypress Springs. But yeah, moving from a town of 4,500 people to big Houston, Texas, that was a big change. But
Yeah.
but it was good.
Hey, I think some people they hear about the size of that kind of a school, and and many states don't build schools that big, but we do, so we can field a better football team. But I think what they think about the sheer enormity of it, but isn't there something about the energy of a school like that with that many kids and that much chaos going on all day long? I mean, it's crazy.
It is. There's definitely no boredom ever. And so, and I was just telling, I was telling you earlier, Hal, and I told my principal last week, I said, y'all, what's missing this year is the energy. And it's the energy that the kids bring. So I know it's hard for teachers out there, but man, hang in there. They're going to come back. I just know it. We're going to get through this. But yeah, the energy's missing right now, and it makes it tough.
It's extremely tough, like, that's what we were talking about, like, that is the fuel for an educator, and especially at the secondary I know it's true at the primary grades for sure as well, but at the high school level, I mean, there's something about that energy in the school and the momentum that drives that school forward and always something going on, and now without that, you're right, I mean, there's so many teachers, it's already hard enough, it's emotionally hard enough, but then when you don't have that energy in place, I mean, it's exponentially more difficult.
It is for sure.
Yeah. Hey, so let's get into it. Your position now, because this thing is fascinating to me. And man, you talk about a district that really made strides to create opportunities, unique opportunities for unique kids. And so, can you kind of describe what you have going on over at the Broadcom Center in Winfern and how that whole system works?
Yes, sir. So we moved to a new campus a couple of years ago. We were Winfern School of Choice, and we're now the Leonard Broadcom Center. We were renamed. They gutted a building and made this gorgeous building for us that where we can still serve. We're a small campus. We serve all 12 high schools in Cypress Fairbanks ISD, and uh, we the kids actually choose to come to us, and so at Leonard Broadcom Center, we now are offering welding and plumbing, and we'll be adding more programs in the future. And so we're real excited. We think it's just going to grow. And, kids come to us for all kinds of reasons. They come to graduate early, they come to catch up, they come because, the big high school might not be for them. They might be that girl from a small town like me that wants a smaller campus, to go to. Some kids just want to graduate. They're not really wanting to be in all the different activities on a big high school. Although we do have leadership positions and we have some fun things for our kids to do. We have some clubs, but that's mainly what we're there for is for kids that really when they walk down the hallway, we know their name. On a big campus, people do too, but we know them all by name. And we say, "Hey, where were you yesterday? Man, I missed you." And they kind of look at you like, "What? You missed me?" And so, we try to personalize it and really get to know the kids. They're all on a personalized degree plan. And, we meet with kids frequently during the regular kind of school year. This year's a little different, but but my position in particular, I'm the director of instruction. But because we're small, we have a principal, a director of instruction, one assistant principal, one counselor, and one administrative helping teacher. And so I knew when I took the position, I was so excited about it because not only did I get to learn the role of a director of instruction, but I'm also the backup assistant principal, and I'm also the backup counselor as needed because I have a counseling degree. So I get to do a lot of fun things, and I get to know the kids really well, and I'm so blessed to be where I am, and I feel like it's a just been a huge opportunity for me to grow in my professional career. So definitely there was a plan there. So love my school. Yeah.
I feel like you probably have done some backup custodial work at too. You probably done some backup secretarial work, maybe some work
Yeah.
in for food
Yeah.
services,
Have,
nursing.
have,
Yeah, put
have
out a
my
fire here and
computer,
there.
whenever everything shut down, whatever it takes. And that is our
Okay.
motto. It's whatever it takes. And so, whatever it takes to get a kid across that finish line, to get a kid excited about learning every single day, that's what we're all about. And our teachers are absolutely amazing. So, yeah,
And here's the thing is that whole whatever it takes here, like the whole way that Sci-Fair ISD has been set up now, there's kind of that too, because here's what I love about it. If a kid, is all into school and sports and student council and they want to be the mascot and be in the band and all that, well, they can go. Those schools are everywhere. But if
right,
it's, if a kid wants to, really focus on CTE program and
hmm,
walk away with a certificate, well, we can do that too. And you're right. And there's also schools for if a kid just is not into this thing, man, like I just get me out of here. Good Lord,
right,
get me a
right,
degree and let me move on with my life because I don't want to
right,
go to the pep rally.
right,
And that which is fine too. It's certainly not for everybody, but here's what I love the most. And I want to tell you this story, but and it has nothing, it's not bad at all about Cy Springs. It's just the sheer size of it. Is I went to a conference and I went to the capturing kids' hearts teen leadership thing.
hmm,
And if you've ever been, you gotta introduce yourself. And so there's a lady, and we all introduce ourselves. I'm waiting my turn, and a lady gets up to introduce herself. And she's talking about this school she's at with 4,000 kids. And listen, I'm like, wow, man, that's a lot of kids. That's what we have at our school. And she's talking about her school. And I said, that sounds like we do at our school too. And I find out she's at Cy Springs. She's been teaching there for 3 years. We've never met each other. We've never seen each other. Never
oh
knew
wow,
of each other. And here's the saddest part. We had kids in common. We had students, we shared students, but
hmm,
because it's such a huge school, we have never connected, never knew of each other. But what I love about what you guys have going on is that if a kid can't get out of there without being known by teachers. Everyone knows the kids and all the teachers know each other.
that's correct. And we tell them that when they come to us, that we will be all in your business. We will be completely in your business because we care about you. And we want to lead you in the direction that you want to go in life because everyone has value on this earth. And that's my whole goal in education is to help someone find out what is their passion, what do they want to do. It takes everyone to make this world go around. And so
Yeah.
so that's my main goal for our kids, before they leave us, is to figure out what do they want to do. Do they want to go to college? Do they want to go to a CTE school? Do they want a certification? Do they want to go to work? What is their plan, and to try to help get them there, the best that we can.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think sometimes we get really focused on that academic stuff, especially in those final years. What we have in public school in the last 2 or 3 years that we have in high school. But really, I mean, if it was up to me, that would be the focus. Like, man, what are you passionate about?
Right,
What do you love? Because like right now in this world, you really can figure out a way to make a living and to earn an income doing what you love. There's so many opportunities. We just have to figure out what that thing is, what that passion is, and then we can come up with a plan to get you there. And I think sometimes we just put kids on that college pipeline, and whether they want to go or not, or if they have a plan and just going to ring up a ton of debt, end up with a job they hate.
right.
I mean, just it's just really disappointing for me sometimes. Yeah. So for you, and then in the Broadicum Center and Winfern and all that whole system over there, what's coming up next? Like, what are you guys excited about? There's always something. That's the thing about Cy-Fair State. It's always growing. There's always something new happening. What's coming down the line that has you guys fired up?
Well, we're excited. We have kids applying right now, so we are on a quarter system. We'll be getting new students in March. We're excited that they will be breaking ground soon on the next phase of our building, and there will be. Right now, our plumbing program is in a portable, and so they'll have their own space, and then we'll have HVAC, and so we're just going to keep adding programs. So we're so excited about that. But ultimately, this year we're excited about trying to help as many kids as we can, get across that finish line, especially during the pandemic right now. We know some kids across the nation are really struggling. And so we're hoping to be able to help some kids that maybe have had a hard time, learning from home, be able to come to us and, we can help them get across that finish line, get caught up with whatever they need help getting caught up with. So we're excited about those things.
It's awesome, man. I'm so glad that yeah, I'm just so glad that those kids have a campus where they can feel they're a part of it, and they know that they're loved there, and they have almost said parents, but that's really kind of what it is. Like, we have a bunch of teachers and administrators like serving as moms and dads in their life.
Mhm.
And sometimes, give them that nudge that maybe they don't, maybe some kids don't have a mom and a dad that are invested in them and being nosy about their business and pushing them across the finish line.
Right.
And I just love that they have you guys.
Well, we're ready to get back to our regular school, and get all our kids back in the building. So, we can't wait for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate you.
Thanks, Hal. Take
And I
care.
appreciate you getting all your accessories and your earrings on and your scarf. I love it, the whole thing. Have a good night.
Hey, thanks, Hal. Thanks, everyone.